So Noah's born, and he had to be revived. So he was born dead, was revived, and I'm very thankful. They worked on him for a little while. His APGAR scores remained very low, like 001 or somewhere in that vicinity. It was touch and go. I didn't see him for uh, I don't know, probably 36 hours because I was really sick. So I had very late diagnosed preeclampsia, and when he was delivered, I was in HELP syndrome. My body was shutting down. So he fought for his life while he was in the womb. He was 2 weeks old the very first time I got to hold him, and they were pushing it like they really didn't want to, but I was, you want to hold your baby. And he's this itty bitty, he weighed 1 pound, 1 pound, 10 ounces. So he was the size of a 24 weeker at 26 weeks. So he had a lot of trauma going on inside while I was pregnant. But that being able to hold was just life. It was life giving for both of us. And Noah has been he's been marching to his own tune since he got here. So of course he was intubated and about a month old. And earlier in the week, he just started declining, and I could see this decline. And the doctor and I ended up having a conversation because he was on CPAP, then went to BiPAP. He was coming down, but then started getting worse. And I remember pulling the doctor that was on at that time and having a conversation like, okay, what happens? What's next? And I was trying to get him to have that hard conversation with me. We were right at the edge, but he didn't go over, right? And I left the hospital. Thankfully, I lived locally, so Noah was only I lived 20 minutes away from the hospital, so I was able to come home and take a nap, which I didn't do often. But I did that, and I missed a phone call, and I'm listening to the voicemail. And I was like, please never, nobody ever do this. Leave a message, Miss Williams, you might want to consider signing a DNR because Noah's not doing well. Right?
That's the
That's what I get on the
voicemail.
voicemail. That's my voicemail. So I rushed to the hospital. I'm eventually allowed back to see Noah, and he and I had a very straightforward, poignant conversation. And Noah's looking at me, and that was the most present he had been all week. And I just said, if you're ready to go, I don't want you to go, but if you're ready, I will let you go. Just give me the sign. And we were all there. We were saying our goodbyes, the nurses and all this, my mom, my dad. Um, I stayed that night. They created a space for me to sleep, and he had no problems through the night. His oxygen, his sign would have been coding again or having to need a lot of support. Nothing, nothing. And so the next morning it was just like, okay, well, as long as you're willing to fight, I'm here to fight with you.